Hi there, Beckie Belote. I am a Creative Memories Advisor from Newport News, Virginia. And today I want to show you a little tip. I just got back from my weekend retreat, and one of the hot tips or demos that I did at the retreat was a irregular type of mat that goes around a photo using Border Maker cartridges. And so I am going to expand on that. So if you didn't see that, you're still going to understand how to do what I taught. But for those of you that did see that demo, you'll be able to see one more thing that you can do with that. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look. What I'll be using today, let me get this set up so that you can see my tools. Let's see here. Hopefully this will be good enough. Maybe a little higher. Let's try that. Okay, we're gonna go with it. All right, so we're gonna be using my circle cutter, and I'm gonna use the Candy Cane Border Maker cartridge and the new mirrored scallop Border Maker cartridge. All right, so the first thing, well, actually, let me show you where we're going, and then this is what we're gonna make today. So a cute little mat for a photo. This could also be a journal box. So you can see I've added some pretty little gems here. This is crazy, super simple to do. So the first thing you're going to want to do, though, is cut yourself a 6.1 radius circle. I'm going to do that out of white. I'm going to do the exact same one. All right, so a 6.1. All right, so on the measuring tool, we've got a white ruler and a black ruler. When you're cutting, you do use the white ruler. When you're drawing, you use the black ruler. But we're going to cut, so I want 6.1. And so I'm going to go to the 6. And then if I go one white dash after the 6, that's 6.2. But I want 6.1, so I want to go right in between, so there is no dash there. Then what I want to do is lay it on my paper. The blades are under here, and so I'm going to put that close to the edge. I'm going to put my hand here so that I can test to see if it's going to be on the paper up here. And I can see that it's fine. I haven't wasted a lot of paper there. So once you decide you're good, go ahead and put pressure on the white dot, white little thing there, and wheel it around. So I'm going to do that first. Very important, folks. I am not moving this, all right? I'm keeping everything still. My neck, that was 6.1, so go ahead and write that down. 6.1. Hopefully that's right side up to you guys. I'm going to be doubly safe and do it both ways since I never know what I'm going to get. All right, so now what I'm going to do is loosen this compass type wheel here, the little white wheel, and I am going to grab this piece, holding firmly here. I don't want this center to move, okay? And I'm going to slide this until it's at 3.9. So I'm going to go to the 4. If I go one more dash, it's 3.8, but I want 3.9. So I'm going to go a little bit more. You're probably thinking I'm trying to kill you with the crazy measurements. I've done it with the nice, easy measurements, and it's just harder if it's a smaller space. So this will be easier for you to do. Sorry about this paper in the way over there. All right. Okay, so we are done with that portion. All right, so that was 6.1 and 3.9. Save this little guy right here. This is a good piece, but we're not going to use it now. All right, then what I want you to do is go ahead and put this in the center of your 13-inch mat so that it looks center. And then you can tell it was center. Remember, I cut it at 6.1, so it should reach out to about the 3 mark. In fact, it should reach just a smidgen over the 3 mark on every single line. So if it's not, you need to adjust it so that that looks center. So hopefully you like the way that looks. It's just over the line. And then what we're going to do is we are going to put some lines on this. I call it the plus sign and the times sign. All right. So the plus sign would go zook. So I'm going to put a line there, all the way down to here. My rest of my plus sign goes this way, so a line there and a line there. For my mathematicians out there, it's on your major axes, all right? Then what we're gonna do at the 45, so these are the diagonals that come from the corners. Again, you're gonna put diagonals there. By the way, we do a lot of really clever things with our mats. So this is not just a self-healing mat. It does so much more, and you should have one. In fact, you should have two, and I'll tell you why on another one. All right, so here we go. So that's what we want. The rest of this is very easy. I am going to start actually with my candy cane. You're going to think it doesn't make a difference, but the ribbon works differently than any of the other Border Maker cartridges on this. All right, so what I'm going to do is I am going to put this circle in my punch upside down. Make sure it's all the way in. It was not all the way in. That would have not worked well. So I'm going to put it in, and the nice thing about that nice thick line is I can see it so nicely through the window there. Hope that you can see that red line. And I've centered it right between the cluster of candy canes. All right. I'm going to do that once. Then I am going to skip a line and go to the next line. I'm going to do that all the way around. So, mash, skip one, and mash, skip one, and one last cut. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to change out our cartridge to the mirrored ribbon. All right. Now, when you put this one in, the mirrored ribbon, I'm not sure why it cuts so different than everything else, but everything that I've tried with this one that is unusual, it works a little bit different. So instead of pushing it all the way in like we did with the candy cane and kind of center it in the space, we're going to try to cut more on this upper side. So you're going to get as closer to this upper side as you can. And if you don't, you're going to end up cutting off some of your candy cane. All right. So you can see it inside the window. So just be aware that you're trying to maximize the beauty of this cut. And the next one I'll let you see, but now that I've scratched this all up, only a professional can do this now. I'm just kidding. So I'm going to kind of center it in there, kind of on the edge, so that I do not cut my candy cane very much, but yet I get the whole feel of this, and I'm having a hard time even seeing because I've marked it up so much. But so you can see that I cut up here towards the top, not down towards the bottom. So I'm gonna do that again. And then this one, it's the center one that we're centering underneath the line. There's 5 humps, and so I'm grabbing the center one, and I have it more towards the top than towards the bottom. And I'm gonna continue this pattern. It looks ugly because of the red, but don't worry, we're gonna flip this over, which is one of the reasons why I like to use cardstock with this technique, so that we can flip it over and it will look exactly the same. I feel like this little thing right here might be causing me some trouble, so I'm going to pull it out. And I will say on this particular one, when you are swapping out the cartridges, it's harder than if you stay with the same cartridge, because if I stayed with the same cartridge, I would just wheel around. I wouldn't pull it in and out. So the last one is always just a little bit trickier than the rest. So don't feel like you're doing something wrong. All right, so what we've got now, let me see if I can put it on something so that you can see it better. Clean up anything that's hanging, like this is a little hang on. We want to pull that off. Take a look at your candy canes. Make sure they look good. All right, so what we have now is this, which is absolutely beautiful. And I know no matter how you look at it, this is right side up for you guys. All right, so now the next thing that I want to do is I want to cut a circle that's big enough to be a mat for this. All right, I think what I need is a 6 point, I think I did 6.4. So I'm changing this to a 6.4 and see if this paper is big enough to do that. It's going to be very close, but remember, we're going to test it to make sure. This is on the paper. This is on the paper. And this is probably not. So I'm going to scoot it down a little bit because I have some wiggle room, I think. So that's good. All right, so I think we've got it. All right, so that is about as close as I possibly could have gotten on that. All right, so now you can see how perfect that is on top. And what you could do next is either put a photo inside, or you could use this as a journal box. And this is the scrap that fell out when we cut the 6.1 and the 3.9. We had that circle that fell out. So I could make this into a journal box and journal right now, or I could cut a photograph and it would be a 3.8 measure on your photograph, or you could use this small regular, like I like to cut my photos with the circle cutter templates. The reason for that is I like the gummies that hold on to the photograph, and I can have more control over where I'm cutting. So if I cut this with the red blade, it's going to fit perfectly in this circle right here, okay? So perfectly that you will have a little tad bit of a mat, but not much. Just a little bit, which in my opinion, it is just enough of a mat here, all right? Or you could do a journal box. And you have seen me do journal boxes before, but in case you haven't, I'm going to go ahead and demo that because you see what it looks like with a photo. I'm going to use my perforating blade for this. So I'm going to change this out. I'm going to put this circle in so that it's at the very first line here outside the cutting area. Then what I'm going to do is line up this dotted cut line to that same line, the first line outside. Make sure that it's nice and straight on your circles. Don't be haphazard. All right, now I'm going to take that new cut line and line it up on the line that's just outside the cutting area. Hope that makes sense. I'm going to continue doing this. If you don't do this, man, I love journal boxes in a circle. They add such a nice visual appeal to your page. And then it also is nice and big, and it does make me actually make sure I journal. So we'll stick this down with repositionable tape. Why would I use repositionable tape? Because there's all these holes, and it would be annoying to use anything but. See, my adhesive is sticking to this paper, so I don't have to be really careful and just get them in certain spots, all right? And then if I put it down and goof, I can pull it up and move it, which is really nice about that. Okay, so that takes care of that. And then we'll do this. Does it matter? It doesn't matter. It's pretty on both sides. And then you can put your decoration here and here on those edges or whatever, or leave it just the way it is. Is it beautiful? All right. I think that's all I've got. And I thank you for watching. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. There is a huge promotion getting ready to start. So if you do not have an advisor, I would love for you to use me. If you have an advisor, I would love for you to use them. There's a huge promotion. You spend $160 and you get 80 in free stuff. There's 3 exclusive kits. I don't know when this is going to be released, but I think sometime this week. So maybe Wednesday or Thursday. So be on the lookout. Go to an advisor website. My name is Beckie Belote. I am in Virginia. Would love for you to use me if you don't have an advisor. But this is big. We have big promotions a couple times a year, and this is a huge promotion. So check it out. Thank you so much for watching. We're at creativememories.com. Bye.